What up, sweet gang? It's your girl Rochelle in the building, coming to bring you another great video and give you life on these caramel apples. Here in this video, I'm going to show you a few of my techniques on how to achieve these beautiful caramel apples using a particular brand called Peter's Caramel. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. Let's get into the video. You're going to need your Granny Smith apples, a heat-resistant spoon, some apple sticks, and of course, Peter's Caramel. I'm using a 1 pound cut of the caramel. So before you get started, you want to make sure you wash and clean your apples. And I'm going to show you a few techniques on how to do so. A lot of people like to save the green at the top of their apples when dipping caramel. So I'm going to show you a few ways to do so. Here's one technique that we can start off with. Taking your apples, putting in a large bowl of hot water. In this hot water, you want to add some apple cider vinegar. And you can add about 2 tablespoons to your hot water. Once you have poured your apple cider vinegar in there, you just want to move your apples around just a little bit, and this helps remove that wax from your apples, but keep the green color on them. So you're going to take them out and then dry them. And once you have got them completely dried, make sure you take your towel and get the stem of your apple to get that dirt out of there. That is very important that you remove that. Now we're going to take our apple sticks and insert them. We're going to insert them upright. The sticks I use are a 5.5 by 5.0. So here's the other technique that you can do with your stick already inserted into your apple. This technique is the boiling method, and this strips the wax from your apple. So what I'm doing is just going halfway on the apple to keep the green on top, and you just want to dip your apple for 3 to 5 seconds, no longer than that. So doing this method will also help keep your caramel onto your apples. Now that we have our apples clean, you see you have this mark in your apples, but it just go halfway. That is from the wax being stripped from the apple. Now, if you want to strip the whole apple, you can just dip the whole apple into the boiling water and just do it for 3 to 5 seconds, remove, and then dry. Now let's start melting our caramel. Here I'm using, once again, 1 pound of the Peter's Caramel, and all I did was just place it in my pot on low to medium heat. If you're using a gas stove, I would recommend that you be at a low temperature, low heat to medium, but you want to make sure that you have your heat-resistant spoon or spatula and begin to just maneuver around that caramel until it begins to melt down. Do not leave away from it or it will burn. Now I'm going to flavor my caramel using this cookie nip. This is an amazing flavor that you do not want to miss out on, and I will leave the link in the description box below for this flavor. I am adding 1 teaspoon of this flavor, which is called cookie nip, and you just add it right to your caramel and make sure you mix it in very well. Remember to keep your pot on low to medium heat and do a constant stir. All right, once you have all your caramel melted down, the next step you will do is start to dip your apples. Now you can dip your apples with the wax on, but make sure that they are clean, and just rotate it just like you would do regular candy apples. But here you want to pull your apple up and then begin to Shake off that excess caramel and make sure you get enough of that caramel off from your apple so you don't have a puddle at the bottom of your apple. Now you can take your spatula and take off the extra excess, or you can just take your apple and scrape it right along the top side of your pot. Once you're done with that, just place it right onto your silicone mat. Now here in this video, I am not using a lot of caramel, which this is just only 1 pound. If you want to use more caramel, you can do so. And I'm using lunchbox size apples. So they are much smaller than your regular size apples. So if you're using medium to larger size apples, you definitely want to use more caramel into your pot. So here I am just demonstrating how to dip your apples and keep the green to show. So a lot of people like to see the green on top, but once again, if you want to dip the whole apple and cover it with caramel, you can do so. Now, when you begin to dip your apples into your caramel, it may seem a little thick. No worries. You can always reheat your caramel on low heat so that you can thin out the caramel and finish dipping your remainder apples. Now, as you're dipping, you may see these little air bubbles, air pockets around your apple. Just make sure you shake that excess caramel off your apple, and then you're going to see them disappear or come down from the caramel. But make sure you scrape the bottom of your apple so that you can get that remaining excess off. So here I have some peanuts that I'm going to dip my apples in. And here is some of the caramel that I reheated once again on low heat. Just mix it around, and when you're dipping, to add any type of peanuts or M&Ms, any type of toppings to your caramel, it must be wet and not dry when trying to add any type of garnishments to your caramel. Now see, these little air pockets, don't worry about those. But once you begin dipping, just shake your nuts around, peanuts around, so that you can collect them evenly onto the caramel. So here with this apple, it has a small bubble on part of the apple that was not stripped from the wax. So I'm going to take a toothpick and just pop that air bubble out. But the remaining of the apple is nice and beautifully dipped. And as you see here, no excess. If you do get a puddle at the bottom of your apple, just make sure you take your hand and smooth it out. Now, if you begin to get puddles at the bottom of your apple, what I like about this caramel is that you can actually smooth out the bottom of your apple, or you can take the extra off and just tap it onto your silicone mat or wax paper, but I prefer a silicone mat. And it comes out nice and smooth as you see here. Now here I'm going to show you how to store and save your caramel that you have left over. Here I prefer a silicone mat, or you can use wax paper, but it must be melted, and you just pour it out and let it dry. But here you see me scraping together the caramel all up in one pile. But before you move it into your container or cup, you want to make sure that it completely dries and harden a little bit before you remove it from your wax paper or silicone mat. But in this video, you're going to see me scrape it off with it not all the way dry, but it's okay. I'm going to show you a smooth, quick technique how to get it all off with my handy dandy scraper. And I will also leave in my description box the link to my mats on how to purchase those, as well as the scraper. So here I'm just putting that extra caramel into this container here, which is this nice cup. And I'm scraping up the extra caramel and putting it in the cup. And that's it. All collected and nicely done and stored into this cup. Put over the top. And you can just place it right into your refrigerator. Now here I decided to add some chocolate to my apples. So you want to make sure when you're applying chocolate to your apples, you want your caramel to be completely dry and cool. And you want to make sure your chocolate is not too hot as well. So I'm doing this technique using this chocolate, just going up and down, starting at the top, going up and down and around the apple to give this drizzle technique and apply it to my caramel apples. Now it's time for the cut test. The cut test is taking a knife and cutting the apple to make sure that the caramel stays in place and stays onto the apple after you have cut it. And here you see, the cut test is approved. So that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on to come and give you life. If you have enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Let's get this video to 400 likes and make sure you share. Once again, it's your girl Ro about to go, but I'll definitely see you in the next video.